Testing 1 2 3 1 2 3. So hey y'all, I am SMP, the host of The Common Ground, where different perspectives on ideas are uplifted on a common ground. So just a disclaimer, the perspectives or opinions on these ideas that I will be discussing are not to be endorsed to the audience. They're meant to inform y'all without bias. In other words, I'm not here to tell you what is right or wrong, nor am I here to tell you to, to agree with me, but to at least understand what I'm saying. So with that being said, I will be talking about what it means to be with time. And just a general definition on time, it's an indefinite continued process of existence and events in past, present, and future regarded as a whole. Personally, I believe time is the only constant in the world that no one can touch. And yes, we can structure time to our best ability, but even if we mess up a little bit, shit happens. If something happens, time still goes on. Time does not wait for you, and that's something that I mentioned in my past podcast in what it means to be sad and what it means to be a friend. And I'm sure I've mentioned it many times in other podcasts, but those are the only two that I can remember right now. To be with time is something different. It's more of as time goes on, your life also goes on. And I'll get into that a little bit more. The reason why I wanted to talk about this idea of time is because a lot of people believe we can control time, and not a lot of people realize that time is a constant in our life. And no matter how much we try, it'll always seem to be going faster or slower. And what I mean by that, like, time gets faster when we want to stay in moments in our life that we take for granted, and we kind of just simply forget time exists. And that's when time seems to go faster. Especially, like, when you're hanging out with your friends and you're just chilling, whatever, vibing, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my god, it's been 2 hours? That's crazy. And then there's like other moments in your life. For example, for me, when I have performances, I get on that stage and then all of a sudden I'm off the stage already. It seemed like it just went by so fast. So yeah, that was just kind of an idea of how we trick our minds that time goes faster. So on the other hand, time gets slower when we want to get on to the next moment in our life, because simply we don't like doing nothing, in a sense, but the world keeps spinning. So for example of this is when you use your microwave. When you put in your food and you set in like 30 seconds, and it seems like 30 seconds is a long time because you're just waiting for the next moment when your food is hot and ready. And that is a perfect example of how we feel and think time is going slower. But then again, time is a constant speed. It's just us tricking our mind. So another example is right now during quarantine for the past, I don't know how many months, I can't count right now. Quarantine kind of allowed time to slow down because jobs were like being cut, school no longer going in person, it's all online, and you're living at home or not living at home. Your life kind of just like flipped. All this, everything shut down, and that's how it feels like time kind of slowed down. And as for me, like, I still feel like I'm a third year in college and just came out of winter break, and obviously it's not winter break, it's summertime, and I'm already on to my 4th year in fall semester right now. But it still seems like, and I feel like it's still kind of tricking my head that I'm still, a third year, and it feels like my third year never really happened. So I kind of just want to go back into all of my episodes and how it connects with time. So with that being said, my first episode, what it means to be a leader. It means to be a provider for whatever group of people you are leading. But with time, your providers may want more and more and more from you. As humans, we can't, give everything. We can't meet everyone's needs. We can't meet everyone's wants. So eventually, with time, there will be another leader coming in, and there'll be another generation coming in. So it is up to you to let time take over or let yourself go and pass it on to the next generation. So my second episode, what it means to be a woman in engineering. It is very rough for women. But with time, I believe engineers will let women into this world of innovation with an open mind. We are all human beings and not very different. It doesn't matter where you're from, it doesn't matter what you believe in. Everyone, in a way, is creative and has the ability to be a great engineer. And that's why I love this major so much, because as a minority in the STEM program, it's very discouraging to see everyone around me is all guys and kind of these nerdy people and no one really who looks like me. But I'm ready to be that person for people like me in the future to look up to me, because you know what, being an engineer is dope. So yeah, it is up to the world to let time take over or let go and let humans be and let women be like guys, like let women be, you know. The third episode, what it means to understand, it means to say, I get you. But with time, I believe the world will learn that, but not everyone will get that in their head, you know. But also with time, people have different paces of learning this idea, and people kind of have blockage towards this idea, and just kind of just look away from this idea. But it is up to you to let time take over and let go and kind of just let people be, because everyone has like their own time. So the fourth episode, I did this episode with Alex, and it is what it means to protest. It means whatever action you express your way to show your oppression towards an idea. Obviously, a good example is the Black Lives Matter movement. Of course, it's still going on today. And of course, there will be people, like I said, about episode 3 on what it means to understand. Like, it will take time for people to adjust. And yeah, it's been a long time, but that idea kind of passes on to generation. And I hope that our generation passes on to the next generation that, hey, like, it doesn't matter if you're black, doesn't matter if you're white, doesn't matter if you're Asian. The police just like fucks you up because of your orientation or how you are, how you look as a human being. It's fucked up, you know? But with time, I believe there will be no need to protest. At the end of the day, it's all human rights. It's all natural rights that we should have. And it just kind of doesn't make any sense that we have to fight for human rights. We have to fight in order to be looked at as human. It's stupid. Honestly, it really is stupid. So yeah, there will always be a fight to fight for, because humans look at other humans as not human beings but as animals or whatever, and it's just not right. And it's up to you to let time take over or let go and let society be, but at the same time, like, be that change to pass on to the next generation. My fifth episode, what it means to be Filipinx American with Kristen. It means very toxic and difficult because you're juggling with two cultures that you want to be connected to, and it's hard when one culture says this and the other culture says this, and kind of have this clash on what you believe and how you want to live your life and how you present yourself. But with time, I believe generations will change, but with an argument of what is accurate or not. There shouldn't be an ideal standard, I guess, of what a Filipinx American should be. And that goes on with people saying like, oh, you're not Filipino enough, or you're not American enough, or oh, you're too American. You know, Filipinx Americans, there's different levels to being Filipinx Americans. You're a little bit more Filipino cultured, more American cultured, but either way, you're still Filipinx American. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no standard to being Filipinx American. If you claim yourself to be Filipinx American, then you are Filipinx American. But with time, it is up to you to let time take over or let go and let Filipinx Americans be. The sixth episode, what it means to be educated, I did this one with Ramya. It means to understand and analyze and having that ability to do that. But with time, I believe people are unstoppable. I believe we are very brilliant as species on this planet Earth, but people may forget that the different perspectives on ideas and kind of just close their minds to how the world should be, how the world should work, and everything like that. And it's up to you to let time take over or let go and let education be. And it's up to you to choose what you want to learn and what you want to understand and what you want to dig deeper into, because I guarantee you everything in the world has a deeper meaning, has a deeper history, and everything like that. So, episode number 7, what it means to be on social media. I did this episode with Melly. It means to stay connected with the world virtually, but with time, I believe it will take over our real life and almost destroy us. And that is kind of connected to the idea of iRobot, the whole technology basically literally killing us as a human species. But we are seeing that today. We are very invested into social media right now, especially being quarantined and still trying to do school, still trying to do work. It's all in the virtual world. It's clashing with our real world. I think we need to be careful what's legit or not in a sense, because some people use social media to be whoever they want to be, not really who they are in the real world, and it's kind of scary. It is up to you to let time take over or let go and kind of just let trends be. I'm not really sure how to explain that, but yeah. My 8th episode, what it means to be sad, with Cameo. It means to be yourself at the end of the day. I believe with time there will be the worst part of your life and you might think time is up. Time takes over, you'll grow, you'll understand, kind of let go. But it is up to you to let time take over or let go and kind of let your emotions flush in and let your emotions rise or fall, whatever it may be feeling. It's unhealthy to keep it down. Episode 9, what it means to be a friend. I made this episode with Noah. It means to just, be there. But with time, I believe everyone will, kind of come and go and maybe return into your life. Your friends may be part of your life. They may be in your life or just not in it or part of it at all. It's okay because, they provide you with something that you probably didn't think you needed or probably didn't think you wanted for a little. But, everyone has their time with that. And then it's up to you to let time take over or let go and let your friends be, because, the world doesn't evolve around you, like I said in this episode. Your friends have their own life too, and you as an individual, you have to realize, like, at the end of the day, you gotta learn how to do things on your own, like they have to learn how to do things on their own. Episode 10, what it means to be a dancer. I made this episode with Encore. It means to be a human being that expresses their emotions that can't be put into words. This goes with kind of just any art really expresses a lot of things that is very universal. Like I said in this episode, you don't need to learn English, you don't need to understand someone else's language in order to express art. It's just so universal and it kind of really connects the world, really. But with time, I believe the art of dance will never leave society, as it will never leave a dancer's body. Like, if you were a dancer once, you will never not be a dancer, because it will always come back to your life. It is up to you to let time take over or let go and let your body move, like express yourself. It's a beautiful way to express yourself. Episode 11, what it means to have empathy. I made this episode with Natalie. It means to be a human being as well, but in a way that others can feel. This is a very broad idea, I guess. But with time, I believe the world will be at peace when it comes to empathy. When it comes to empathy, really, it's kind of also having that realization that we're all just human beings. We're not very different, like, regardless of your beliefs, regardless where you came from, regardless of your ethnicity or whatever it may be. Like, once we add in empathy to everything we do, it kind of brings peace to everything. And it's up to you to let time take over or let go. Let yourself love, because that's really the core of empathy, like love that connects to peace. Episode 12, what it means to be with family. I made this with Bridget. It means to be that unconditional support to whoever is close to you, blood related or not. But with time, I believe family will always be in your heart, even if they aren't part of your life anymore. It is up to you to let time take over or let go and let yourself be there no matter what. This idea of family, I kind of feel like everyone is family to me in a way. Everyone seems kind of be that unconditional support, even if they're in and out of my life, because I'm always in and out of people's life. I just believe the whole world is kind of like a family. So yeah, episode 13, what it means to be independent. Did this with CJ. It means to know who you are without anyone's interference, but with time you will change but blossom into the person you were always meant to be. It is up to you to let time take over or let go and let yourself love yourself. Kind of goes on with empathy, having that connection to yourself. Empathy towards the world, empathy towards yourself is very important. The next episode, 14, what it means to communicate. I made this with Destin Mark. It means to connect with others and yourself. But with time, people will realize communication isn't everything to a connection with others or a relationship with others. And it's up to you to let time take over or let go and listen to yourself. So communicating is, there's a lot of different ways to communicate. It's not just by talking. It could also be gestures, whatever it may be. Episode 15, what it means to know history. I did this episode with Nate. It means to understand how you and others got to where we are today, because we as humans are not that different. As I've been saying for each episode, like, humans are not different. But with time, history may be forgotten, and that's where history will kind of repeat itself. And that's how, like, the 1900s and 2000s are kind of in parallel right now with our history. It's irritating. It's a little irritating to see how we have developed so much as a society, yet our history is repeating, which does not make any sense. It is up to you to let time take over or let go, and remember your stories and pass it on to the next generation and be that change for the next generation. So kind of wrapping it up, we live in a world where things are done right when we need it. Sometimes that need is more of a want. And I like to call this era the microwave era. We kind of just shove things in a microwave and expect things to be hot and ready after whatever desired time. This can go with waiting for your shipment that you just ordered online, how your boss wants things right away, done right away, regardless of how many assignments you have. Your parents want you home ASAP. They don't know you're still, like, in traffic. Another idea is the concept of conspicuous consumption. My English is not very well. The term to describe things we buy just to kind of impress others and things we don't really need or want. This is kind of a way that we waste our time, or sometimes just let time pass by. In my own life, I've shifted my perspective that everything has its own time. Like a schedule, everything has its time, especially like your class, you have time to eat, you have time to sleep and stuff like that. So that's kind of like what this podcast has done to me, is kind of give me that realization that everything is connected with time, because time is the only constant. So you have your time to be something or someone and not to be. You have your time of denial and acceptance. You have your time to be closed-minded and open-minded. You have your time to fight and not to fight. You have your time to be toxic, or you have your time to be safe. You have your time to teach, and you have your time to learn. You have your time to be stuck in reality and escape it. You have your time to be sad and happy. You have your time to be with your best friends, and you have your time to be with your worst friends. You have your time to dance and watch. You have your time to embrace the world and hate it. You have your time to be with family and start your own. You have your time to rely on people and yourself. You have your time to communicate and comprehend. You have your time to tell your stories and live stories. You have your time even when the time is over. So with my platform of opening the minds of people to understand ideas, it takes time to let these sink into your head. It's basically like relearning things you thought were this way in your head, but they're like the complete opposite direction. It may be just understanding something you already know, but to a deeper meaning. This platform is a reflection of my grandma, who passed away in December 2018. Whenever my cousins or me or my siblings or anyone in the family does something wrong, she would always ask us why. She would never get mad. She would never punish us. She would kind of just ask us why. And then she says, "Don't do that again." I will always carry this platform in my heart. That's just something that I want to bring to my family and bring on in this polite legacy. Going back to my idea of what it means to be in time, it means to live and feel alive. But to be with time is embracing being alive, whether it be the best times, okay times, or the darkest time. But it also includes being patient. Be patient with yourself, the people you surround yourself with, and the world. No matter who, what, when, where, and why, time will always be counting. Not faster, not slower, but the same constant speed. It is up to you to let time pass by, forget it exists, or be with it. When you're with time, it feels like you're in sync with everything around you. And this is something not really easy to put in words, but it is as if you're playing a song and you jump in and you hit every lyric or every sound or every beat, and you move as if you can visually see the music. Another idea is as if you put something in a microwave and you went to go do something, and then when you came back to the microwave, your food is ready to eat. Another idea, as if you're emerging onto a street or freeway and you kind of just slip in and no one stops for you or no one like crashes into you or something like that. I can go on and on because being with time is, it feels powerful. Being powerful is honestly another podcast. I'm not gonna get into that, but it is time for my podcast to come to an end. I hope these conversations reach you, and I hope it reaches a lot of people in the world. I know my like platform is very small. I do hope to have more conversations in the future to share if I get back on with this. But until then, remember that we will never agree on everything in the world, but we can find a way to understand everything in the world, and that's on common ground. Thank you guys.